As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Your right, my right, our right, everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Hello and welcome to Prosumer Forum for today, 23rd of October 2017. Today on Prosumer Forum it will be fun and of course quite revealing. We decided to make it a little bit different from what you're used to hearing from last week when we launched the program officially. But Prosumer Forum, if you're joining us for the first time, is a program where we bring together the producer, the consumer, and of course the regulator. And together with our phone lines, which we will open much later, we will interact and find lasting solutions to some of the problems challenging the production process in Nigeria. This is Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting, and my name is Peter. On the program, we'll take a look at customer satisfaction and rights, appropriate channels of reporting dissatisfaction over services rendered. We'll also examine the relationship between consumers and the producers, and of course relationship between the consumer and the CPC, which is the Consumer Protection Council, the ease of access and costs of reporting issues to the Consumer Protection Council. With us on the program today, very great personalities. We have two consumers. We're expecting one more person. Let's just say consumers that are not happy, that have brought their case to us. We have Gloria in the studio. You're welcome to the program, Gloria.
Thank you very much.
Daphne joins us. You're also welcome to Prosumer Forum.
Thank you very much.
And we have from the Consumer Protection Council, I almost said Prosumer Protection Council, Barrister Akoji Achimugu. He is the Chief Legal Officer at the Consumer Protection Council. He's attached to the Department of Surveillance and Enforcement. He handles the legal issues on banking and finance, insurance, telecoms, e-commerce, satellite TV, etc. And of course, eventually, I'm sure he will have something to say and give some support to our consumers who obviously have stepped into the studio not so happy about certain things that they have encountered. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the program. I'd like to say thank you for being part of Prosumer Forum.
Thanks
for having us. Now, let's start by speaking with Barrister Achimugu. Let's be very honest. Again, let's remind the listener what the Consumer Protection Council in Nigeria entails.
Okay. Let me begin by saying that the Consumer Protection Council is the
Yes,
apex.
you need to put the mic very close to your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is the apex agency of the federal government of Nigeria that is saddled with the mandate of ensuring that consumers' complaints get speedy resolution. This it does at no cost. The government pays for it, and we are there to ensure that where you spend your money, you take your hard-earned money and you give it to somebody to give you a service or to buy a product, that you get value for that money, and where you do not get value, that you get redress. Now, part of the problem that we have is the fact that most people already have apathy for the system. It doesn't work in Nigeria. Now, that is not true. It's been working. It is working right now as we speak. And I can tell you, even today, somebody got redress, big time redress. We ensure that where you put money in, you get value out. Okay? We ensure that inputs and outputs have a convergence. And if that is not your experience, then speak out. That's the most important thing. If you do not speak out, we can't help you. But principally what we do is find redress for consumers, first by mediation, conciliation, and generally resolving complaints. Where that fails, we could go further to use the force of law and even go as far as prosecuting offenders on behalf of consumers. So that, in a nutshell, is what the Consumer Protection Council does.
Gloria and Daphne, have you ever heard of the Consumer Protection Council?
Yes, I have.
Have you made attempts to contact them before coming to us?
No.
Why? Why so?
Because what I do, if I get a product and I'm not satisfied with it, I just get out of. I just leave it. I don't go there anymore. I don't buy the product anymore. I try to avoid it, and I try to tell my friends this particular product is bad. And sometimes I go to the shop or the supermarket where I get the product from, and I try to tell them, look, this product, you have to get your source right. You have to get it right, because the particular one I bought from you was bad. So I try to go get in contact with people I buy from, not the Consumer Protection Board.
What about you, Daphne?
I just
You need to speak to the mic.
I just feel nothing works in Nigeria. When you tell people about how you feel, or you go to report these cases to these people, they don't actually work because they don't work. That's how I feel, and it's so sad that things don't work here in Nigeria. It's so painful.
But Barrister Achimogu, obviously the CPC is aware of these kind of complaints. You earlier on stated that apathy is one of the problems that people have. Generally, Nigerians have lost confidence in many agencies, and I'm sure part of the report has been with some agencies, of course. But then, how have you been able to manage that? Is this your first time hearing about this?
No, it is not. And you would agree with me that if you look around the TV space, the radio space, we're all over trying to sell this same idea I am selling right now, that you can't simply say it's not working if you're not willing to try. Now, if you come to the office, okay, I'll give you phone numbers, okay, contact details of 1,001 consumers who have, we have, as we speak right now, okay, we have people who bought into estates and have complaints, and they're getting resolution now as we speak. We have, if I had known, I would have brought thousands of complaints against banks that have been resolved. We have them in stacks. We have a television program where we go out to preach the same thing the same gospel I'm trying to send out right now, that if you keep saying it doesn't work, then it will never work for you. You need to, give it a shot, even if it's a very long shot in your estimation. Now, where it does not work, then you can say, I said it. But if you don't give it a shot and you say it's never going to work, then of course it can't work, because you're not willing to try.
All right, so we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll give it a shot. Let's hear what the complaints are and how the CPC will come in. Stay with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. This is Prosumer Forum. Stay with us.
Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back from the break. This is Prosumer Forum, a forum where we bring together the producers, consumers, and the regulator. Today we have two consumers who are, if you like, disgruntled or dissatisfied. We also have a representative, Barrister Akoji Achimugu, the Chief Legal Officer at the Consumer Protection Council. He's attached to the Department of Surveillance and Enforcement, and he handles legal issues on banking and finance, insurance, telecoms, e-commerce, satellite TV, and many more that we cannot mention. We also have in the building consumers of great repute, of course. We have Gloria and Daphne in the studio. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for being part of the program. Okay. Now let's quickly take a look at some of the mandates of the CPC before we go straight up to your stories. We know that there are certain rights that consumers must enjoy. And previously, I remember last week, your colleague, Barrister, had come to reel out some of them. We have the right to redress. Is that part of it?
Yes.
There's also the right to safety.
Yes.
There's also the right to information.
Yes.
The right to information is very key, I must say, because radio in itself is information. There's a right to consumer education, and the right to choose. That's the right to choice. At what point were your rights breached in terms of what we've mentioned? You want to start your story, Gloria?
Okay.
I mean, very quickly, so we don't take so much time.
Okay, it's all right. I had an experience when my mom fell ill, and we're at the National Hospital, and she had kidney problem. She was attended to.
Which are the National Hospital that we know
Abuja,
in Central area?
Abuja, yeah. She was attended to. After a few weeks, we left the hospital. Though the services were so I don't know how to say it. You need a doctor, and the doctors on call will tell you which team is your patient, and by the time you tell them the team, your patient's team, they have to like go to search for the doctor that should attend to your patient. And when you have a patient that is on an emergency, you have to, the doctors are supposed to like put someone on ground that should attend to that issue, but we had to manage through it. Then she got better, and we went home, and we found out that her arm was swelling.
Which of her arms, the right or left, or both?
The left arm was swelling, and she was like complaining, pain, and all that. So we had to take her back to the hospital, and we got to the emergency, and the doctor there said, "Well, you didn't take care of. Is she taking her drugs? You didn't take care of." And I'm like, "Take care of what?" She had injections. She had venous injections and all that. And normally, when you give people injection, you clean it and they go home. So you didn't tell us to take extra care of the arm. So she had the arm developed pus, and they had to like drain it out. It was like another surgery, set of surgery again, and we're there for some time, and we had to pay for their negligence. We had to pay.
How much did you pay?
Oh, I don't have that.
But you have your receipts, you have your pay details.
Yes, I have everything.
Was it up to, let's say, what's the range? Approximately how much?
Around between 40 to 60,000. So because she had to be on admission too for a few days for that. So we went home, but later after I lost her anyway. So she died. I lost her.
Oh my goodness.
And
I hope it wasn't the reason for the death.
Well, I am thinking the medication, the treatment, everything that was done wasn't really done well.
So
so I felt like it could be as a result of the treatment or the mode of treatment that was given to her. I don't know. Anyway, I felt like it. So the other one is
So that is one story.
One story.
And what do you want the CPC to handle in this case?
I lost my mom. I went I want the CPC to try to, I don't know how they can get to the hospitals, not only national hospital, because I feel other patients too could be going through such ill treatment. So if they could reach out to them, to tell them to take patients' lives seriously, because the way, if you get to national hospital, the way they treat people as if they see cops every time, so it doesn't really matter to them. They don't really feel anything. But they should, the Consumer Protection Board, if it's in their jurisdiction to handle
Cancel,
that,
it's a
cancel
cancel,
them. Cancel them to take patients' life seriously.
Okay, so let's
Can I
quickly
just-
check
can I just
the
read
right
that?
to, yes, you will. The right to redress. It says a consumer who is dissatisfied with a product or service has the right to redress. This can either be a refund of money paid, a repair or replacement of the product. That's in the case of a product. Am I correct?
Okay.
Barrister
Or even a
Achimugo?
service.
Or even a service.
Okay.
Now, let me just say first and foremost that because it will be difficult to reach out to every individual case, okay, what we try to do is to take, when we have complaints, we try to handle them holistically.
Yeah.
And what we've sought to do is, we are right now, right as I speak right now, I am part of it, okay, coming up with what we have called the Patient's Bill of Rights, okay, where we spell out every right that a patient in a hospital has. And where any of these rights are breached, you bring your complaint to the Consumer Protection Council. We are doing this in conjunction with all of the stakeholders in the medical field, okay? Because if you have their buy-in, it's easier to deal with. So, by the time this comes out and it's widely circulated, then these kinds of things will not be put to bed. I have a publication here, and at the back of it, it says, when you insist on your warranty rights and you are asked to go to hell, please don't go to CPC. Okay? So if you think you have a right, or you know you have a right, and the person who is breaching your right tells you to go to hell, don't embark on the trip. Why don't you just come to CPC?
Okay, so now CPC is right here represented by you, and she has laid down her complaints. What is the action to be taken?
From here, right now, okay, if she's willing, we can drive back to the office. She would lay a complaint and let her come back and tell you what happens.
All right. So
It's
we
a
have
challenge now.
We have 1-0 down now. We'll go for the next game. It's not a game actually, but this is serious. Let's take a look at your own situation, Daphne, before we come back to your second story, Gloria. You need to speak to the mic. Yeah.
Okay, I'm very, very dissatisfied because I was wishing to attend one of these satellite campus in town, and I've been through with school since 2010, and up until date I've not gotten my original NYSC certificate, and we are not owing a penny.
That's 7 years ago.
Yes, we are not owing a penny, and this is actually making me stagnant in getting a job, because anywhere you apply for a job, they want to see your certificates, your NYSC certificate, and it's actually making me angry because some people went to collect theirs and they found out that the certificate was actually original. The NYSC certificate was actually original, but the signature was the signature of the late NYSC director. And they got to find out that it was late, and the people then now told us that this person can't sign on this because he died 3 years ago. And
3 years before the incident,
Yes,
time of
before
the signing of the document.
Yes. So it's like we just gave people money and enrich them. And up until now, as I speak with you, if I call the same man in charge of the institute, he keeps telling us that don't worry, in 2 weeks time, don't worry, in 3 years, in 2 hours time I should call back. And if you call back, it will tell you he's in Shongo Otta, he's trying to figure out the problem. But the truth is, as I speak with you now, he's still telling us to bring additional 50,000 naira to get NYSC certificate. I don't know where they give money to get NYSC certificate in Nigeria. I truly don't know.
Barrister, this is a case of forgery as well, if it's established. Am I right?
Yes, that's
No,
true.
and clearly there's
That
an
is
issue of
outside of-
dissatisfaction here.
Yes, okay. The issue of forgery, okay, is criminal. That is outside of the jurisdiction of the Consumer Protection Council.
Okay.
So I will not speak to that. Now, the first thing I want to say is, what institute is this that she's talking about? I need to know, because if it's not accredited, okay, one of the duties, because wherever you have a right, you have a corresponding responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if this institute is not accredited and you pay to it, there's only so much we can do. We can hunt them down. We can. Some of these institutes are in somebody's sitting room. We can't break. No, I'm just giving. I'm not saying yours is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying some of these institutes are in those kinds of places. You can't break into everybody's sitting room and say, "Do you have an institute here?" Now, if you go and pay money to that kind of institute, unaccredited, and you have not taken the time to do your own due diligence, then there's a problem, because you are making the job even more difficult for us. But if it is accredited, for example, okay, assuming that where she went to is accredited, I also throw the challenge, okay, that there is an accreditation body in Nigeria, okay, and if that body accredited such an institute, then that body would owe her a duty to ensure that she gets a certificate indicating that she passed through the institution. So we have to first of all get to the bottom of what institute this is. Is it accredited? On what basis are they running? And all of that before I can speak to that. However, like I said, if the case of forgery, I mean, that's directly something
That's a criminal issue.
That's within the purview of the police. Okay. Now, for the issue, the fact that she paid some money makes her a consumer. Okay, and we can speak to that particular case where she gives me the details, the final details that maybe she can't give right now.
But,
So as soon as
my concern again is whether it is accredited or not. There's a transaction in between.
And we all have our
I mean, we have shops all over the place. Are they all accredited? Are they all registered?
Now here we're talking about a sector that is regulated. For example, we all know that communications is regulated by a body. Okay? Now, if you leave all of these bodies, all of these organizations that are accredited by the regulator to go and deal with a quack somewhere, you would agree with me that you are making the job difficult. Okay? However, if you come and say, for example, I don't want to call any names, if you come and say, one of these ones accredited by the regulator did this to me, the first thing I would want to do is, get to the regulator and say, you accredited them. Now there's a problem. They probably pay a token to you or something. You need to deal with this now.
Well, Barrister, we need to find an answer to this. I think I'm getting a bit confused. If there's an existing business,
yes,
it is first of all not the fault of the customer if he doesn't know. He has a stake, he has a role to play, but a customer is just somebody who is looking for services,
yes,
and has simply gone to get that service.
Yes.
What are the government agencies doing to make sure that these institutions do not exist? Is the customer to be blamed in this instance?
No.
Good.
What I am saying is this, okay? That's why I said some of these agencies. Now, you would say, take for example, okay? If I choose today to begin to package water from my bathroom at home, okay, and I bring them out and I'm selling them in one locality somewhere in the interior of one area in Abuja, okay, and nobody brings a complaint against that kind, against me, okay, it will be difficult for the Consumer Protection Council to reach each and every one of these kinds of, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Where we do find them, I can guarantee you that you will not find them operating in the next 30 minutes.
Great.
I can guarantee you
Okay,
about
so
that.
I have a clear picture now. I'm sure you have a clearer picture
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So let's go back to Gloria. Obviously, this second case is something you're going to handle too if she agrees to go with you.
Oh, definitely.
So
definitely.
let's start planning. What's your second story, Gloria?
My second story. I had a
It's even an experience. Let's not even call it story. Your second experience.
I had a transaction with someone, financial transaction with someone, and later after, we had a problem, and she arrested me. But
what was the problem? What was the transaction? And what
she wasn't satisfied.
No, you need to tell us the whole story,
Okay,
so we'll
okay.
be in a better picture.
Okay. She needed to buy shares.
Okay.
And she asked me to help her to get the shares, and we had to get a plot of land from the money she gave, which I did.
Was it what she wanted?
What she wanted.
Yes.
With the consent of some people that were around then. So, we did that. We everything documented. Everything documented. Certificates, land, agreement papers, sales, ownership, and buyer, seller, whatever, signed. And she signed as well. So it got to a point where I was somewhere and I got arrested. I got an invitation. The police inviting me. I got there and I was like, why am I here?
Just wait up. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will know why you were there. Stay with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. This is Prosumer Forum. We'll get to the bottom of the story right after the break.
Human Rights Radio.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
My name is Femi Adeshino. I'm the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. I'm proud to identify with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. I'm glad that this station has come up at a time like this under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, a man that respects the human right of every Nigerian. Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Coffee black, cigarette.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Sunana Mala Abdullahi, organizer ne aiki na, kuma ina ji Human Rights Radio 101.1, kuma aikinsu wanda suke yi aikin kwarai ne, kuma Allah sa albarka ciki, kuma wanda suke saurara rediyon nan kuma su ci gaba da saurara domin aikin alheri suke yi, kuma Allah ba su lada da aikin da suke yi.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back from the break, and it's time for us to continue from where we stopped on Prosumer Forum. This is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. We are set to redefine broadcasting in Nigeria and beyond. Today on the program, we have a number of consumers, two consumers, Gloria and Daphne, who have brought in complaints. Gloria and Daphne have given us one experience each, and we're back again to hear the remainder of the experience from Gloria, her second experience. We also have representing the Consumer Protection Council, CPC, Barrister Koji Achimugu. He is the Chief Legal Officer at the CPC and attached to the Department of Surveillance and Enforcement. So let's go back to your story. You started off by telling us, Gloria, the second experience you had. You bought shares for someone on that person's behalf, and for some reason the person wanted a piece of land. You invested the money in the piece of land. Documentations were all complete, and then we took a break.
Yeah. Thank you. I had my documents, everything, because I had a copy. I mean, each document I had to.
You made a copy, yes.
So I kept them. I just felt like I should keep my copy of the document. So I got invited by the police. On reaching the station, they said I duped someone. I'm like, I don't understand.
Which of the police stations is that? You don't know the name of the police station. Go ahead.
I don't
but
know
it's in Abuja.
It's in Abuja.
Okay.
And I can trace the place.
Okay.
So they said I duped someone. And I'm like, how? They said, she said she brought money, that I should get her this, I should get that, but I should write my statement. I should just go ahead and write statements, which I did. And after writing the statement, I was asked to sign. I signed. Then they brought another paper. I don't know what that was for anyway. So they signed, they wrote something on it and gave me that I should sign. I'm like, why am I signing this one? That I need the person that invited me.
What is the content of those documents? The first one you signed, what was it saying? What was the information?
That was my statement.
Okay, then the second was the document.
The second one was it's written like the problem, as in they say, is it breach of trust or something on the paper, and I can't really remember the contents now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's like the problem. What brought me there? So it was stated on that paper. So I said, okay. They said that was around 6 p.m. because they had to delay me till 6 p.m. that day. So they said I should get someone to bail me, that they would detain me. And I'm like, how? Okay, based on this, if it's this case, I have my papers. I have my photocopy of the document, and they said no, that they don't have to do that now, that it's late, that it has to be the next week on a Monday, because this thing happened on a Friday evening. So they took me. I was detained from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was Monday, the next week, Monday morning, that I was called upon to they brought me out so they could ask what happened again. I went all over, told them everything, and they said, okay, if I have my documents, I should call someone to bring them. So I had to call my sister. She went to my house. And then I had my sick mother. She was still alive. She was in my house. I told them, I said, I have a sick mother at home. If you want to go home with me, why don't you go with me so I can talk to her or get someone to take care of her for me? They're like, no. That was before I was detained. So my sister brought the document and they went through and they were like, okay, but this one, why this? I'm like, you asked me to write my statement, and I've written my statement. What else do you need? What do you want me to tell you apart from what I wrote? So one of the policemen was like telling me to write. I should write this. I should indicate this. I said, you can't tell me what to write because you are not there. You can't tell me. I wrote what's happened, so you can't force me to write what you want me to write. And that was at the end of it. I had to get my lawyer, and I told him everything, and he said, okay. So what do they have to say about this? Now they've seen the evidence that truly those shares were bought in her name, not in my name, because she said I bought the shares in my name. So they saw everything, and the paper, the agreement paper, the sales agreement paper, they saw her name on it. So showing that everything that was said was false. So they said, okay, that they didn't apologize at first. They said, no, it's the way she presented the case, the way she came in rags, and she was anyone that sees her then could just conclude by just looking at her, will conclude that truly she was duped. And that was how it ended. So my lawyer tried to take the case up, that he's going to take it up and that they will pay for damages, keeping me for more than 24 hours and whatever. But at the end of it, they asked me to forgive her, that they found out the truth.
Well, have you forgiven?
Why I'm still thinking about forgiving, she rearrested me from another station. And I was detained for
the same issue.
The same issue.
So
I referred them back to the former station. Because I told them, I said I have my evidence. I was arrested on this case before, and they found that I wasn't guilty about this, as in they found out the truth. So they said no, that they have to detain me. In fact, the commissioner said that he'll make sure he reprimand me. That was what he said. That they should take me and detain me. That the next day he will be able to listen to my case.
The commissioner?
Yes.
Does the commissioner handle a police station?
I don't know. They took me to the force headquarters.
Okay. Is this a CPC case, Barrister Achimogo?
I was just waiting to say that there are no consumer issues here.
Okay.
This is a purely fundamental issue for breach of fundamental human rights. So there's no consumer issue here.
Okay, so clearly this is a case that you need to continue with your lawyer.
Yes.
At least the first one is a consumer issue. And he has promised to take that up.
Okay.
But we'll take a very quick break. When we return, we'll take your second story, Daphne, and then we'll take phone calls from our listener.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على حي على الصلاة الله.
My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, the National Chief Imam of Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, the Director Al-Habibiyya Academy. I listen to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and I want you to listen to it. You will learn more.
Your right, my right, our rights. Everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
On Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, your right, my right, and our rights, everybody's right is protected, especially the consumer rights. We have Barrister Koja Chimugu, the Chief Legal Officer at the Consumer Protection Council. Gloria and Daphne are the consumers who have laid out some of their stories of dissatisfaction with one or two things, especially in the medical line. And of course, let's quickly just go to Daphne and hear your second story very quickly. I think Gloria has a third story very quickly, experience. Let's go quickly to that.
Now, thank you. Recently, that was a week ago.
You need to speak to the mic.
I had a friend who was trying to put to bed, and in the process of giving birth, she had an emergency case in National Hospital. While they were trying to take her to the theater up, the lifts wasn't working. And I want to believe, I know of a truth, our government are actually doing everything, especially when it comes to health. They are trying their best. But I don't know what these people are actually doing. And in that space of time, to just take her upstairs, they were trying to get stretcher to walk through the stairs. I don't understand that. She lost her life. While we were battling with that, 2 other people died too. For me, it's a joke. That's like trying to play with people's life because they just feel, okay, this one is packed, let's just pack this one. It's painful. It's actually sincerely, it's painful because they would have done something to make that person live, or rather, should I say, survive. You know, it's painful. It's really, really.
Is that a CPC case, Barrister?
No.
Why?
Well, because here we're talking of, well, to the extent that they got shoddy service is a CPC matter. Okay, but we cannot sit here and determine what caused the loss of life. Okay, but to the extent that they got shoddy treatment. Okay, to the extent that, I mean, there was negligence on the part of the hospital, we can speak to. Because when you pay money, because I know they paid money to have access to treatment, and if they got shoddy treatment, then we can speak to. That's a consumer matter.
Okay.
But the issue of the loss of life is a totally different matter.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's something you're willing to take care of.
Oh yes, well, we're willing to take it up with the authorities at national.
Oh, all right. So very quickly, let's go to Gloria.
And sorry, besides, I want to say something that I forgot earlier about this medical stuff. I remember in one of those days, we had to go around the city looking for drugs prescribed by the doctors. We had money to pay. We couldn't get drugs from the hospital. We had money to pay. The equipment, some of them that were to be bought were nowhere to be found in the city. And I noticed, I remember a pregnant woman dying in the emergency ward because her husband had to go to look for what the doctors needed to use for her treatment. And I'm like, why won't the hospital have these things? Even when you have your money to pay, why don't they have the things that they need for the patients?
I wish I had an answer to that, Barrister.
Let me just say that one of the things we do at the Consumer Protection Council is interface with, I mean, the regulators or the authorities over those sectors where complaints come from. So the medical profession has a regulator. It also has a ministry that's over it. And if she's willing to put pen to paper, then we're also willing to take it up and ensure that some of these things are looked into properly. because they affect consumers.
All right.
She just
We'll take phone calls very quickly because we're running out of time. You can call us up and be part of this program on 081 89 99 1011. Call us up and be part of this discussion. Daphne and Gloria are in the studio. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
This is Adams. I'm calling from Finland.
All right, very quickly, Adams.
The basic problem is information that people don't have access to information. Understand? And like, let me use myself as an example. I had a problem with a client. I bought a phone from the shop. Just the way I'm listening to you, listening to your listening, that is how I was listening. I just this a consumer protection, but I don't really know. You know, this country, you don't believe that the guys, the agency is very good, they are not doing anything. That is the perception we all have. That is the perception I have. I was like, even though I take it to consumer protection, that is consumer protection. I know we need to break justice. So I just someone called me when I had the legal program just like you have. Someone called me when I went to the class. I went to vote on social and social problem. 3 months later, the social and social problem. I went to the class and the person is telling me this and this and this and this. They just give me the paper. I just write the complaint. To my greatest surprise, I thought it would take maybe like 3, 4, 5 years. Let me just try. But to my greatest surprise, in a space of 3 weeks, I got to the class. He brought the letter down to my house. So, it's just like, the government was so different at first. There's no that even all this, take this Adams. Let's settle down. Let's settle this issue. That's why I bought the new phone. And what I'm saying basically is that we don't have information that we need. But information is power. We do have all those information, we don't get them. We don't see them on radio, we don't hear them on TV. All we just say is we go and all that. Once we are hearing all this kind of information, at least everybody will do his life. There are some lies that people will chop on and tell us. So you look at it as, if I went to stay, we went to the police station, this is how the dribble is very good. We don't know where to get free drugs. Let me just put it that way. So I found that they are really working. Maybe I like their post. I think it's doing better than what they are doing now.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that contribution. Obviously, somebody has tasted the pudding, and it's good. Yeah. So let's take this final call. Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome to Prosumer Forum. Very quickly, we're running out of time.
Okay. My name is Monday. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, go ahead, Monday.
If there is something I want to, my own is report. I like the way you are just saying.
Okay.
What I'm asking is just all these organizations and human beings like to don't have anybody to. And what I want to complain is I got share with the PhD.
Okay, before then, Monday, just listen to the program. There's a number we will call that you can relate your story, or you can call us up or send a text to this number. We will reach out to you and invite you to the studio so you can tell your story and also pass the information to the Consumer Protection Council.
Okay, I beg you, if you can call the number for...
All right, no problem. Barrister will call out the numbers for you. Thank you so much. So there are numbers that people can reach the CPC, for instance. Yes, I know about that. What are the numbers?
You can reach directly to the department that's going to handle your complaint on 080 56 00 2020. Should I take that again?
Take that number again.
080 56 00 20 20. You can also send an email
Okay, I understand that emails are effective in your organization.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
All right, so let's hear the email.
It's contact at cpc.gov.ng.
Okay, contact is CONTACT.
Yes.
That's contact
at
CPC
cpc.gov.ng.
So most of the time when you hear GOV, it comes with an NG because it's a government establishment. Well, unfortunately, we cannot take calls, but if you have complaints, send it directly to this number, 081. That's for also, if you want to come on the program and complain, you want to be seen to the members of the public, you send it to 081 89 99 1011. Final comments from our guests and complainants?
Okay, I don't want to forget this. Why will the doctor ask me to donate 4 pints of blood for my patient?
Just one?
4
just
pints.
from you alone?
No, I mean, ask me
to get 4 pints.
4 pints of blood for my patient. And when it's time for the blood to be used, to be transfused, they'll tell me I should wait for like 2-3 hours. Or sometimes they'll tell me, okay, you can just use 2. But the rest is donation. Okay. I don't get that.
I'm sure there will be an explanation. But remember, you both will have to go with Barrister to his office, the CPC, and seek redress. I'm sure that we're coming back with you guys through the case. We will follow this case until we reach the final solution and we make sure you find redress. I am sure that they will give you the necessary support. Final comments from you, Barrister?
I just want to say to consumers, be proactive. Do not sleep on your rights. Do not go to hell. Go to CPC instead. It would really do a lot of good.
All right. Stay awake. Be informed. Prosumer Forum is the program that will give you the chance to meet with your producers and the regulator as consumers. Daphne, final comment?
I'm just pained, and I want to believe that in no time we'll come back with joy and smile, because Barrister said we're going to his office, right? I want to go with him and actually seal this thing to the end, because I want my colleagues, my classmates to be happy.
Okay.
I truly want them to
be happy.
Thank
you so much. I'd like to say thank you to Ted, my producer, and of course Shola, who is also co-producing. Thank you so much for your contribution and making this program a success. Prosumer Forum continues tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Have a great time. My name is Peter. Bye-bye.